turn my pit into a well. So the essence of my praise is centered on your grace. Adum, Adum, Wadum. I've been through a lot, but grace sustained me. My test is now a testimony. So the essence of my praise is centered on your grace. Adum, Adum, Wadum. It was you, my lawyer in that courtroom. It was you, my soldier on that battlefield. So the essence of my praise is centered on your grace. Adum, Adum, Wadum. Hey, Adumo, Nyame, Adumo, Adum, Adum, Tina, Metiasi, Eya, Wadum, Tina, Mewoho. Lord, the essence of my praise is centered on your grace. Adum, Adum, Wadum. Hey, Adumo, Nyame, Adumo, Wadum. Eya, Adum, Tina, Metiasi, Eya, Wadum, Tina, Mewoho. Lord, the essence of my praise is centered on your grace. Adum, Adum, Wadum. Who has changed my story? Who has given me a song? Turn my mourning into dancing. It is you and just your grace. You have changed my story. Protocol breaker, you made a way. You turned my mourning into dancing. It is you and just your grace. Could not have made it without you. Hey. Could not have sailed through without you. Your loving kindness, grace and mercy brought me through. So the essence of my praise is centered on your grace. Adum, Adum, Adum. Could not have made it without you. Hey, could not have sailed through without you. Papa, your loving kindness and grace and mercy brought me through. So the essence of my praise is all centered on your grace. Adum, Adum, hey, Adum, Adum, hey, Adum, 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 Tina, Metiasi, Adum, Metiasi. Lord, the essence of my praise is centered on your grace. Adum. You have been my doctor on that sick bed. By your stripes, I am healed, I am free. So the essence of my praise is because of your grace. Adum, Lord, the essence of my praise is just because of your grace.
Yay, glory, 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 glory. A special good afternoon to every one of you. Yes, my praise is centered on your grace. Adum, Adum, which means grace, grace, grace. Grace has made us come back again. The Legend interactive moment is here, and I believe that somebody, you are definitely ready. I am ready. So I greet you in the name of the Father, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, and also to let you know that God is with you. And this afternoon, this evening, we are here to discuss, we are here to share, deliberate by a great legend. I tell you, a great legend. So please get yourself ready, share, invite a brother, a sister, a friend, get somebody on board. I know that by hearing him, by hearing his life story and the things he will say to you, you are definitely going to be inspired. So please connect somebody on and get somebody. Let us all do it together. And I believe that is going to be a blessing to all of us. I am ready. I am very, very much ready. So please share, invite as many as you can, and let us do it together to the glory of God. Let the blessings of the Lord rest upon us. Before I bring my legend on, I'll play one more song for you to share. As I share, please increase the streaming and increase the people, and then we will come straight into discussion. So while the song is playing, please click and share. Invite somebody right now. We are all sharing. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you for tuning in. Those that are on Global World Network radio station, we appreciate you. We thank you for having you. Thank you for connecting to Global World Network, and also to YouTube, and to YouTube, to Facebook, and to Twitter. We appreciate every listener out there. We appreciate you all. Now let us flow. Click, share, invite somebody, bring them on board while the song is playing. Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's one of my favorite songs. It says beyond me. God has looked beyond me. You looked past my sin, my guilt, my shame, and poured your love. You looked beyond me, oh. You looked beyond me, oh. You looked past my sin, my guilt, my shame, and poured your love. You look beyond me, oh. You look beyond me, oh. And I'm the one that you have shown mercy. You have shown me mercy. You have shown me mercy. I am the one that you have shown mercy. You have shown me mercy, God. You have shown me mercy. Poured your love on me. I was naked and cold. I need a covering, partial to your taste. Yet you have dressed me in your righteousness alone. You look past my sin, my shame, my guilt. You poured your love. You look beyond me, oh. You look beyond me, oh. You saw my shame and my flaws, yet you poured your love on me, God. You look beyond me, oh. You look beyond me, oh. And I'll sing the song. Yes, I'm the one that you have shown mercy. You have shown me mercy. You have shown me mercy. Shown mercy. You have shown me mercy, God. You have shown me mercy. Look past my sin, my guilt, my shame. You look beyond me, oh. You look beyond me, oh. You look past my sin, oh. You look beyond me. You look beyond me. You can sing this one. Say, I'm the one that you have shown. You have shown me mercy. You have shown me mercy. I'm the very one that your love has covered. You have shown me mercy. You have shown me mercy. I'm the very one that your love has covered. You have shown me mercy. You have shown me mercy. I'm the one that you have shown your love. You have shown me. Well, look past my sin. Look past my sin, my shame and body. You look beyond me. You look beyond me. You look past my sin, my guilt. You look beyond me. Yes, you look beyond me. Hey, you look past my sin. You look beyond me. Yes, I'm the one that you have shown mercy. You have shown me mercy. You have shown me mercy. See the love and the grace that you pour, so much than I can ever pay for. You have shown me mercy, God. You have shown me mercy. Oh, I'm the one that you have shown mercy. You have shown me mercy. You have shown me mercy. Can you join us? Say, I'm the one that you have shown mercy. That you have shown. Yes, you have. You have shown me. I'm the very one that you have shown mercy. You have shown me mercy. Oh, yes, you have. I don't deserve your love, but you have shown me mercy. That's what your love does, oh. That's how your love acts, oh. Well, I'm the one that you have shown mercy. You have shown me mercy. You have shown me mercy. You have shown me mercy. I'm the one that you have shown mercy. You have shown me mercy.
Glory, glory, glory. I am the one that you have shown me mercy. The Lord indeed has shown us mercy, and we are alive again, here again. So, somebody, I know that you are there. Thank you for joining the Global Word Network and the Legend Interactive Moment. Thank every one of you out there. The moment is now, the time is now. There is a saying that, hear me, your worth is in your experience, in what you have, in what you have gone through. Today, I tell you that we have people to celebrate because of what they have gone through and because of what they have achieved through their experience. And so I believe that whilst you are here, you will gain knowledge, you will gain inspiration by that which you hear today. And so I am here to introduce to you the great legend of God, a great servant of God, and somebody. Are you ready? If you are ready, I am also ready. Let me bring the servant of God on. Thank you so much. Hello. We thank God for your life. We appreciate God for your life. Welcome once again to the Legend Interactive Moment. Welcome. How are you doing, sir?
I'm very good, thank you. I'm very well. Yourself?
I'm doing well. Thank you so
Good,
much.
good, good, good.
It is an honor to have you here. It is a privilege to have you here, and we do not take it for granted at all, but to welcome you. And we know by this broadcast that we are out, definitely our lives is going to be blessed. So thank you once again. Thank you once again for accepting the invite to be here. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much. Now, to the listeners out there, I appreciate every one of you. God bless you. God bless you. Minister Laureen, I see you on. God bless you. I thank God. Mama Mercy, I see you on. God bless you. Please, if you are there, put a comment. Put your comment right there. Let me acknowledge you once we go straight into discussion. Put your comment right there. Please say something. Say hello, hi. I'm here. I'm here to put your comments there, and I will definitely acknowledge you. Thank you so much. We are going straight into discussion now. As you can see, the legend is on, and then you are definitely, and we are going to be blessed today. Amen and amen. So once again, I welcome you again into the time of discussion. Thank you. Can you please help us or help the listeners out there to know your full name? Your full name, and if there is any story behind your name, because some people are named with stories. Some people, there are occurrences that happens, that's why they give them the name that they bear. So if there is any story attached to your name, we definitely want to know that. And so please, can you let us know your full name?
Cool. Yeah, my name, Keith Poole, you can see on the screen there. I do have a middle name, Richard.
Mm.
Um, you may or may not have heard of the pop star Keith Richard. He was a guitarist. So, you know, sort of a joke that with my mom that she named me after him because I also play the guitar.
Oh wow.
But my dad was also named Keith. So there's several reasons why. So I'm told that I was called Keith Richard, but yeah, Keith Richard Poole is my full name, and obviously I'm ordained, so I've got the Reverend in front. But
Thank you so much. So am I allowed to call you Reverend Keith, if that is okay?
yeah, sure.
If I can address you by that. Thank you so much, Reverend Keith. We are happy to have you. And then also, oh, if I knew, would have enjoyed some music on the guitar like that, you know. But we bless God and we thank God to have you here. And to the listeners out there, I present the legend for today, Reverend Keith Poole. And so to every one of you there, please join in discussion, drop your comment. Please share it to 100 people. Unlimited sharing today. Let it go viral. And God bless you. God bless you for doing that. Amen. God bless you. Please tag someone and let them know we have begun already. That they shouldn't be late anymore. We are waiting. So we go further in discussion. And can you please tell us a little about your family? We want to know your extended family, and we want to know your nuclear family, your immediate family, and your extended family. So if you can
Sure,
let us know.
sure. Well, you know my wife, Jenny Poole.
Hmm.
We've been married for 28 years. We just had our 28th wedding anniversary. So we're in
Amazing.
our 29th year. I know I only look 30, but I
Hmm.
have been married for 28 years. We have three daughters,
Oh, wow.
um, Emilia, Danielle, and Zoe.
Hmm.
Two of those are at university. One, the youngest, is doing her A levels in
Hmm.
England. In terms of extended family, on my side, I have obviously both parents. My father died in 1998, so that was 23 years ago, which leaves my mom, who's been a widow since then. And I have two older sisters, one who lives in Cornwall and one who lives in the West Midlands. So I'm the youngest of three children to my parents. So
Wow.
that's
Thank you
my
so much.
family.
We thank God for you're coming from a very, very famous and rich background, and we thank God for that, and we appreciate that. And then also we say, God bless your family, your nuclear, your extended, your sisters, your children, your wife, every one of them. God bless them for the support they give to you, for us to have you here. I believe that they are instrumental, and so we appreciate every one of them. So this goes to the next question. We said, where did you grow up? Where did you grow up?
So I was born, let me just start there. I was born in a house in Halesowen. Halesowen is part of Birmingham in the Midlands. The house that I was born in, I wasn't born in hospital, I was born in a house. The house is now an estate agency. Um, but I grew up in a little town called Netherton. You'll never have heard of Netherton. but it's probably an hour drive away from Birmingham. But it's just a small little place that no one's ever heard of, and probably nobody ever will. So a place called Netherton.
Thank you so much. And I believe it also reminds me where Jesus was born in a small manger in a stable. So I know that great people are born in a place that looks insignificant, but they make the place significant. So we appreciate that and we thank God for that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay. So looking at where you were born, would you say your family is famous or rich? Are you coming from a rich family? You have cash, doorstep, when you are going to school, they carry you in a limousine, on a jet to go to school and come back. Is that your family?
No, not at all. My parents growing up were quite poor. Um, my father worked in a foundry, so it was a very manual, dirty job, long hours and little pay, really. And my mom was a stay-at-home mom. So I had to. The reason why she was a stay-at-home mom in the early years was because I was in a wheelchair. So I didn't go to school in my early years. I stayed at home. So my mom stayed at home to look after me. So only my dad worked, which meant there wasn't much money around. So unfortunately, there's no limousines, no jet planes. It was a wheelchair. If it was a wheelchair.
Oh dear. And I would love to hear the wheelchair experience. What contributed to that? What actually happened?
So I was about 1.5, and I can picture it in my mind. My mom was at the kitchen sink peeling potatoes, and I can remember the fact that my mom was potty training me, so I didn't wear a nappy, and I remember being sat on the kitchen floor with my mom in front of me. The next thing I knew, I woke up on the settee in the lounge with a nurse, a doctor, and my mom and my dad looking over me. I'd passed out while I was sat on the pot. So they took me to hospital, and the hospital, being the great place that it is, x-rayed me incorrectly. So they should have x-rayed my intestines, because there was a blockage in my intestines. That's why I passed out on the toilet. But what they did, they actually x-rayed me too low, which meant they x-rayed my pelvis. And when they x-rayed my pelvis, the blockage corrected itself, but they discovered that I got no hip bones. So so that meant I had a long stint in hospital. And then I was in what we call calipers. So your legs were dislocated, and they were put in plastic cases, which meant I couldn't walk. So I couldn't go to school, because back in the 70s, they didn't have wheelchair access like they do now. So I was in a wheelchair, couldn't walk, and I had to wait for my hips to grow back. So they call that Perth disease. It doesn't happen to many, but eventually my hip bones, the ball grew back into my pelvis, which meant at about the age of 7.5, I had to start to walk again.
Wow.
Eventually, I was able to go back to school. But I can remember being in the hospital with the doctor, and him standing by my mom, the doctor in front, trying to ask me to walk to him. And I can remember taking a step and just falling on my face, because I hadn't got any strength in my legs to carry me. So I had to learn the process of walking again when I was about 7.
Wow. So from 1 to 7, my God.
About 1.5.
1.5 to 7, my God. Your case is peculiar.
Yeah. But in all of that, because I couldn't go to school, I had a lady come to the house to homeschool me, which actually, when I got to school, I was far ahead of everybody else at school.
Amazing.
So even in a difficult situation, God made that good.
Good. Yeah. Yeah, that is sometimes God knows exactly what He's doing,
Yeah,
and then He hide His people in a place and do what He wants to do. So we would not even say it was unfortunate, but we will say that God knows what He was doing, and if He had allowed it, it was for a reason. We
yeah,
appreciate that the bone grew back, and then today we can see you on your feet doing amazing for God and doing greater things. And we appreciate God for your life. And to all those that supported you in that moment, mom, everyone, we appreciate God for their lives. Thank God. We bless God. Now, what job are you into? What do you do? What do you do?
well, for many years I was in procurement. I'll tell you a little bit of a journey. I was in procurement, so I was a buyer. So I would, in effect, sign all the contracts with for companies and try and get the best deal for the money they spent.
Hmm.
That's really in a nutshell. But I left that back in 2002 when my oldest daughter was born, and I set up my own company, which I ran for 16 years, importing musical instruments from China. So I did that as a business. But whilst I was doing that, I spent the majority of my time traveling, preaching, teaching, um, abroad in Europe, in Africa. And so to bring that up to the date now, I sold the business 4 years ago. My wife and I pastor a church, which is growing quite rapidly, actually, in the Midlands. And coupled with that, I spend a lot of time training leaders and pastors, traveling England and Africa. So, place Nigeria, Uganda, South Africa, Kenya, all these type of places in Africa. So yeah, yeah, mixed between pastoring the church and then training and working with leaders. And I'm an executive director with John Maxwell.
Hmm.
Some of you may have heard of him.
Hmm.
He's written over 100 books on leadership. So I use a lot of his material. But so that yeah, that's what I do.
Hmm. Thank you
Trying to
so much.
improve the leadership quality of the country.
Very much needed. I think I know one country that needs you so much, which is Ghana. We need you to go and improve on the leadership there, because sometimes our way of leadership is just a bit below the belt. But I believe that that is why connections are made, so we will connect other people. Thank you so much. Let me pick a few comments on. We have Mama Mercy says, "Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you, Mama Mercy. Appreciate you." She says, "Wow." We have Mama Comfort. Okay, say hello, legend Reverend Poole. You welcome to Global Word Network platform. God bless you, Mama Comfort Okai. And we also have Mama Mercy says, praise God, praise God. Somebody drop your comment also, and then we will read through it. God bless you. And we go further, and then Mama Mercy says that God works in mysterious ways. Yes, very mysterious and miraculous ways. And we thank God. So please keep your comments coming in, and don't forget to share, invite a brother, a sister, a friend as we continue to go. God bless you. So, Reverend Paul, how did you get into the position of becoming a minister of God and also traveling around the globe, training leaders and all that? How did you get there? How did you
I
get
forget that. Well, it's a very long story. I was born again when I was 17,
there? Hmm.
35 years ago. And at the time, again, what people see you today and they don't realize the journey that you've been on. So
Hmm.
when I was growing up, I used to stammer, so I couldn't speak.
Oh, wow.
So you can ask my wife. You know her; she's been on this platform, and when we first started to date, I couldn't speak very well. I couldn't, I could never read out of the Bible, for example. I couldn't do any of that. You'd never find me in front of people speaking, teaching anything because I couldn't put, two or three words together. But I
Amazing.
got saved at 17, and God said to me that I would travel the world teaching
Hmm.
His word. So, what most people do when God says that, they wait for God to
Hmm.
do something before they do anything themselves.
Hmm.
But I didn't do that because I was convinced that if God has said that He's going to do that with me and He's going to put me in that place, then it's up to him to heal my stutter and to remove that. So I didn't let that hold me back, but I would put myself in places where I had to speak publicly, I had to share publicly, and I had to do all those sorts of things. And the difficulty that I went through in all of that, um, develops your character. It develops some inner strength to keep you going. So um, I was invited to teach at a Bible school when I was in my 30s. Even though I stuttered, the person who led the school invited me to join his faculty. So I can remember coming home one day, having taught for about 4 or 5 sessions, and I said to Jenny, my wife, I just said, "Do you notice anything different about me?" Yeah, no, yeah. God bless my wife. She said no, but but what I was meaning was, do you actually realize? Do you see that I don't stutter anymore? And at some point, and I don't know exactly when, but at some point in my early 30s, the stutter was just removed. God healed me, and He freed my tongue, as one would say, and I was able to speak, pretty normally as everybody else does. So because of that, that gave me even more confidence to do what I'd always wanted to do. Now, going back to when I was 17, the first book that I bought when I went into a bookshop, a Christian bookshop, was a book on leadership. Now, why I bought the book, I don't know, but looking at all the subjects that was there, the leadership one stood out to me, and it was a John Maxwell book. So I bought the book and read it. Why I would read that at 17, I don't really know, but I did. And then I bought a few more. Then I bought different authors, and I just was enthralled by the subject of leadership. And then, as time went on, it's become apparent through good and bad experiences that whether you are in the church, whether you are out of the church, in business, the community, leadership is a subject that really needs to be addressed. And it needs to be taught, because a lot of people think they lead well when they don't. So so why I got into the subject of leadership was because it was just a passion of mine that I've had. And then as time has gone on, I've just had more and more invitations to go and to work with various denominations in the UK, and various Bible colleges in the UK and abroad, and then spend a lot of time in Africa. So, so places like Uganda are beautiful countries, and the people there are outstanding people. So for me, I think out of myself, I think I'm half African, even though I'm not. I'm English, but I think I'm probably 3/4 African.
And then partly Ghanaian as well, I'm sure. I'm sure that. We are glad to have you. Thank you so much. Life is something, as you said, life is a journey. Indeed, it is a journey. And it begins sometimes unexplainable. We can't explain, but it's amazing that you go into the shop and then you pick on a book on leadership. And the first book you pick is, so you said John Maxwell, and now you are in John Maxwell team, and then executive
Director, yeah.
Director in John Maxwell training institution. So we appreciate God. God was just directing your steps from there. We can see God clearly. And to that, today we have a great legend in our midst, a great servant of God, please, endowed in leadership training. So if you are there, please get yourself ready. Bring your church people, the leadership. You can train all of them. He will talk about the programs and other things that he does, so you will know. So thank you so much, every one of you that have joined us. We appreciate you. Please continue sharing. We appreciate. And so, servant of God, we want to know that I can see many smiles on your face, but what makes you actually smile? And then what scares you?
Look, it's a funny. I've got a very strange sense of humor. So for me, I think sometimes people get too serious, especially the church. We get to, I'm convinced we think, God is insecure, And we can't laugh and joke in church because we don't do that. You can't do that. You have to be a holy and respectful, which really means for most people you're boring. Um, but so what makes me smile? A lot of things make me smile. Like I said, just a good sense of humor. Just I'm probably a little bit sarcastic, which is a bad trait of English people. But I have a very sarcastic sense of humor. So does my oldest daughter. So between us, we find a lot of things funny. We just have a very funny sense of humor. Um, what makes me scared? Not really, not so much anything anymore. Like I said, I was actually quite a nervous child. Um, so certain things made me very nervous and anxious and scared. But as I've got older, I begin to understand more that when you've got the presence of God and God is with you, there's very little things for you to be afraid of.
Afraid of.
Because he's with you, he takes care of many things.
Mm.
So why would I be scared? Why would I be scared of anything? So generally, I'm not really scared as such. I'm not really that type of character. I just think just tackle everything head on, and when God's on your side and God's with you, there's very little, if anything, to be scared of.
Mm, very well said. It's a fear not, for I am with you. So
Yeah,
if you know that, then you are not afraid. Thank you. And then I like, as you said, the world is already tensed for us to be over tense and not enjoy jokes and other be enjoying life, as you said. So I believe that it is medicinal for us to be enjoying life. Bible says that. So thank you for having a good sense of humor and then also a sarcastic way of enjoying yourself, as you say, put it. We are enjoyed that because fun is something that we all need, but sometimes we allow our situations to put us in a place where
yeah.
we can't even smile at all. We can't even enjoy life. But hey, no matter what you are going through, please put a smile on. It is beautiful. Thank you so much, Reverend Keith, for making us aware. And the next one is what is your greatest strength and what is your weakness? What would you say your strength is, and what would you say your weakness is?
Well, I it's funny because again, through quite often we people have blind spots, and we don't recognize what our weaknesses are. In fact, a lot of people don't always recognize what their strengths are.
Mm.
But I'm definitely, one of my weaknesses, I can be impatient. I like everything done yesterday, but you know, but, but
I like that.
God will take that. I believe God will take my weakness because of the type of character I am. If I wasn't impatient to get certain things done, they would never get done. So even though people would class impatience as a weakness, I think God takes that and He uses that weakness in certain situations where at times impatience is needed. So that, even though it's a weakness, can be a strength. But I think my biggest strength is my weakness, which is my mouth. Um, is my mouth. It's God uses it for His glory. But if I'm not careful, as we all at times can say things that we shouldn't say, or and when you say things and the words are in the air, you can't take them back. They're out there. As we know from the Bible, it says, "As life or death is in the power of the tongue," and it's one of those things that we have to learn discipline to be careful what we say. So if you put those two together, my mouth is my strength and yet my weakness, and I am impatient. I've got a double problem there because I really do have to be careful what I use my mouth for. And that's just being honest, and I'm sure that would be a lot of people, but a lot of people wouldn't be brave enough to say that. But
Exactly. I'm just seeing how honest you are to share it, and it's very true. It's very true. So I'm enjoying myself. Your greatest strength can also be your greatest weakness, and then you have noticed it. The most important thing, as you said earlier, is to notice it. Some people
Yeah,
don't even know where
yeah.
their strength lies and what their weakness is. So it becomes a bit of a low side, because you can't even strive in your strength, and also you can't deal with your weakness if you don't know it. So I believe that is something that we all have to look for and then work on them, and
Mm.
then also the ones that we need to improve, we improve. So thank you so much, we appreciate. Looking at your life, yes, there have been many difficult times like your childhood, and but what is the most difficult time of your life, the one that you can say, this one, my God, it was amazing, super super of all? What has been the most difficult time of your life?
You know, I'll answer the question with a story. Really, you know, I said this to somebody just a few days ago. I honestly believe for God to use a person, they have to be broken. Um, and I don't just mean they go through a few difficulties or go through, a few things that were hard. I mean, they go through something which, if it wasn't for the grace of God, they'd be destroyed. Um, we see that with the life of Joseph, of all
Mm,
the things that he went through. It was because God knew the end from the beginning, and he needed his character developed to be able to do what God had destined for him to do.
mhm,
So why I say that is, both Jenny and I have went through a situation together some years ago, that nearly, well, especially for me, nearly destroyed me. I sat on
mhm,
the floor in my house for probably 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and cried. That's all I did. I
mm,
just sat there and cried. Um, I was used as a scapegoat for a situation that had nothing to do with me at all.
mm,
So, and then people lied about us, lied about me, made stuff up which wasn't true, and all that sort of thing. Now, why it was such a difficult time was because I didn't expect that to come from within the church.
mm,
Okay,
mm.
I'm just being honest again. Some people
Yeah.
couldn't say it, but I never expected that. It was quite a few years ago, and I perhaps I was young and naive, but it took me by surprise, which it hurt even more,
Mm.
and it really blew me away. And I wouldn't go to church. I wouldn't talk to Christian people. I wouldn't, I didn't want to know. It really, yeah, blew me apart. But by the grace of God, He took me on a journey of
Mm,
forgiveness and healing,
mm,
uh, and restoration. And yes, we can all learn from those things personally. What could I have done better? But a lot of the things that we went through, they were done to us as opposed to we did them. So
mm,
there were things that were said about us, done to us, and that sort of thing. So that betrayal and that hurt, that offense was, yeah. God took me on a journey,
mm.
um, of being completely broken, and then piece by piece, He put me back together, which probably took the best part of 2 years,
Wow.
um, for me to be completely at the place where the people involved, I'd forgiven them. It wasn't a problem. If I saw those same people now, and yet it took 15 years for all those people that were involved to
Mm.
come to me to apologize.
Wow.
So, God wanted me to forgive,
Mm,
but it was a forgiveness that wasn't dependent upon them coming to apologize. It was just me letting the hurt and allowing the Holy Spirit to come and heal my heart,
mm,
um, and my emotions and that sort of thing. But over the period of 15 years, virtually every person that was involved in that situation contacted me, came to see me, and apologized for what they did or didn't do. So, even in that, God takes you because He wants you to be broken before Him. Because I know now that I'm not here because I'm any good.
mm,
I'm not here because Keith is great. Keith the legend. Really, I'm no legend at all. I'm just here by the grace of God. And I am convinced, like with Joseph, that when you're in that place, that you're only here by the grace of God,
Mm.
then you're in a place where God can now use you.
Amazing, amazing. No wonder you are a great teacher of the leaders and train people, because your in depth of understanding is amazing. And we all go through things. We do go through things, but some people have got stuck in that situation and has never risen up again, and they are still bitter and mourn. And then, but we thank God that you went through the experience and you allow God to train you, retrain you, remold you, reshape you again. As you said, brokenness is part of everybody's journey, but how we get up back again is what is important. So we appreciate that. And I thank God that you forgave them before they came in, because 15 years would have been a very long time for you to be mad at them, angry at them before they come and apologize. So I believe that that was a great thing for you to have done. I appreciate that so well. And I believe somebody out there that you are listening and learning as well and being inspired. If whatever you are bottled in, it's time to let it go so that you can live your best life. Thank you, every one of you that is there. We have Sister Sandra Afra. Says greetings to all. Greetings to you, Sister Sandra. How are you doing? We appreciate God for your life. Thank you for coming on board. We have Mama Ernestina also there. He said, good evening, adorable Royal Mommy. Good evening to you, Mama Ernestina Amwa. Thank you for coming on board. And to all of you that are behind the scenes, we appreciate you. Please share, invite somebody, and yes, let's go further into it. Thank you so much. So this brings us to the next on. Now, what do you do with your spare time? If you have one, what do you do? There are some people that don't. There are some people that do. So what do you do at your spare time?
Well, I don't get a lot of spare time. That's probably that's probably my excuse now. What do I do? What I like to do is read and study. I know that sounds probably extreme to some people. You know,
Mm,
don't you like to? I like to walk. I like to go for a walk. My phrase that I use will be to kick a few leaves. I just like to go and walk, um, just switch your mind off, and just walk through a forest, to walk through nature and that sort of thing. But what I like to do is I just like to read and
mm,
study. So, you know, all day today up until now, I've spent the day studying. I had a
mm,
walk and I've studied. So that's that. I just like to do that. Actually,
mm, mm.
simple answer.
Very good. A very good way of spending your time. You spend time to gain, and also working also helps. So it's good. So it's a time well spent, and we appreciate that. So on that, to go to the next one to ask, how can somebody get your special attention? How can somebody get your special attention? How can they reach out to you?
If somebody, I don't think, again, this sounds very simple, but if
Mm,
somebody wanted to reach out to me, I just want them to be nice people. That sounds very, that sounds very simple.
I like that.
Just be nice, guys. You
Just
know,
be nice.
I'm sure you've been around long enough. You see, sometimes whether it be Christian people or non-Christian people,
Mm,
people get competitive, people
mhm,
get jealous.
mhm,
People try and blow your candle out, thinking
mhm,
that their candle will burn brighter, which it doesn't.
mhm.
Um, but if somebody wanted to get my attention, it's very simply, just be nice.
Just be
Be,
nice.
be a nice person. Speak nicely, behave nicely. You know, because I'm convinced when a person is like that, they've got a pure heart.
Mm, mm, mm.
You know,
Amazing. Wow.
and we know, blessed are the pure in heart.
Blessed are the pure in heart. So please, out there, you've got it. This is a nicest answer I've ever received on the Legend Show. If you want to reach out and then get his special, please just be nice. If you don't know how to be nice, please start learning right now. Go and learn how to talk and behave well. My God, this is amazing. We appreciate that. Thank you so much. Please, are you learning how to be nice? Those that are there, some of them are enjoying a laugh right there. So please, just be nice. We go further and we want to know what inspires you. What is your biggest inspiration? What is your biggest inspiration, or who is your biggest inspiration?
Well, I have two people. two human people who I would say have always been an inspiration. One would be actually Margaret Thatcher, which was seen as quite a divisive figure in England back in the 80s when she became the Prime Minister back in 1979. Um, what I like about her was that she knew what she had to do to lead well,
Mm,
knowing that everything that she did was perfect. But as a leader,
mhm,
she was a phenomenal, gifted woman.
mm.
Um, the second one, who you'll know, would be Nelson Mandela.
Wow.
Uh, so Nelson Mandela, I followed his story even when he was in prison, and then being in England, I watched the footage of him being released from prison in South Africa, and then we were there when he became president. My wife and I were in South Africa,
Mm,
and and when he was when ANC were voted in, and now Mandela became the president of South Africa, we were there. So
mm,
I like him again because he led by his convictions of what he believed was right, even when people didn't see that in the early days, and
mm,
they were convinced that the guy was stupid. Um, but he stayed with his conviction and what he believed,
mm,
and then even at a later stage of his life, he was able to lead the nation well and lead himself well. So
mm.
they are my two biggest inspirations.
Inspirations. Amazing. We appreciate that. Yeah, their life is just one of the phenomenal one, a good one to emulate and to learn from that. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. So this takes us to our next question. And to those of you, please put a comment and your comment will be read. We appreciate every one of you on board, the countries that we are listening to us connected right now. We appreciate. Let me just go there and then appreciate the countries that are listening to us on Global Word Network. We appreciate each and every one of you. We thank you for coming on board. We thank you for this great sacrifice for you to be with us. I first of all see, I see Great Britain, United Kingdom, United Kingdom, Germany. I have also here Australia. I have France also here. And we appreciate every one of you. I have people from Mali. Wow. People from Mali listening to. We have people from India. And we have people from Italy, Cote d'Ivoire, Turkey, and South Africa. Thank you all for joining us. And of course, we have people from Ghana. So thank you for all joining us on Global World Network. Please keep your dial right here and don't go nowhere because we have the legend right here. And so please, we are on discussing, sharing. I am enjoying myself. I'm learning in addition. And I believe that somebody, if there is anywhere to be, it is this place. It is right here with the great legend of God. So please, bring on board your questions and then your contributions. We also go further and we have Mama Sandra said very well, thanks. And then we have Minister Lauren enjoying, and Minister Lauren said, be nice, talk nicely. Yes, we have been advised that if you want to reach out to him, be nice and talk nicely. We have Mary Adutese watching and listening. Very wise discussion. Thank you so much, Mary. Please do share, invite those that you have, and bring many of them on board. We go further and into discussion. So, what is the biggest factor that has helped you to be successful? What has helped you to be successful?
Um, I think the biggest thing would be to be teachable,
Mm,
because when we're young we think we know everything,
mm,
and as we get older we realize we don't know as much as we must have forgotten an awful lot as we get older,
yeah.
because we realize we don't know as much as we thought we did.
Mm,
But when you go through difficult times or you have some conflict with people,
mm,
I for myself, being teachable is very important. We say
mm,
experience is the greatest learner, but that's not true
mm.
actually, because evaluated experience
Okay.
is
Yeah.
what causes us to learn. In other words, we look back at things that have happened, and it's not the experience that makes us grow. It's looking at the experience and what can we learn from that, and
Mm,
and being teachable. And
mm,
when we are teachable, we learn, we grow, we can change. So I think that's very important. and that's what I've tried to be and tried to do for a long time.
Amazing. For you, what has helped you to be successful? You didn't tell me that. Okay, you went to lift some metals and everything, but to be teachable. My God, this is a nugget right there. So somebody keep it in your spirit, and I believe that you'll be blessed. To be teachable is what again. And so some people, there is no way you can teach them, although they are wrong. They stand on their wrong grounds, and they wouldn't change anything. They wouldn't move. It is this is what I know, and so that is how it's going to be. But I believe so well that as you are teaching, you are speaking, we are learning. I am learning from my side as well. Thank you so much. We have Angela has made it to say, I love your sound, you say. I love your sound, sir. And then we have Minister Lorraine says, be teachable. And then Angela has made it say, God bless you. God bless you. Thank you all for coming on board. Thank you, Angie. We appreciate God for your life. And please do share. We'd like every one of you to share, invite a brother, a sister, a friend, and get many of them on board as we all go further. This is one of the questions I love to ask, because I always open my ears wide like a rabbit, and then I hear and then take note on that. What mistakes have you made along the line? What mistakes have you made along the line?
Cool. I will keep you all day on that one. I think one of the biggest ones, which I found difficult, was I trusted people
My God.
when I realized that I shouldn't have done. So I was too trusting of people. So, and again, when people like that, when you trust somebody and they let you down for whatever reason, and again you don't expect it, if you're not careful, you don't trust people again.
Yeah.
But that would be quite a foolish thing to do, because not everybody is like that. So for myself, I've tried to live a little bit more intuitively and just try to read people more and read people better. So, because, again, some people say certain things, but they don't mean what they say. In fact, in a lot of cases, they say one thing and they mean completely the opposite, or they do the complete opposite. So, for me, one of the biggest lessons, because I like people, I like to be with people, and I just have to be a little bit more careful with people to read them better, because if one doesn't, then it can have serious consequences at times. So again, you'd expect within church, within Christian circles, that you'd be able to trust everybody, but that's still not the case.
It's not the case.
It's not the case at all. So again, just because a person, the phrase that I use now is I tend to listen less to what people have to say, and I tend to watch their behavior more, because you can't mask your behavior. You can say all sorts of things, but your behavior, you will always behave true to who you are.
Exactly.
So I don't listen to what people say as much, but I tend to watch what people do more. And in that way, it gives you a better feel for the person.
Amazing. On this same topic, it's been like sequential that everyone trusting people. When it comes to this particular question, the answer is trusting people that they are not supposed to trust, and it's like a red flag right there. Every time it's like people have made mistake trusting people that they are not supposed to trust. And for what you made in addition, which I love, is that if you are not careful, you'll be thinking that you can't trust people, but it's a foolish thing to do. You will not trust anybody at all. But be a person that will watch people more, be intuitive, and then also discern through their character and the things they do. So somebody, I'm learning you. I believe you are also learning. You are jotting some things down, because this is amazing. And we appreciate all those of you that have come on board. We have Judith. Judith says, God bless, dear mommy. Good evening to you, Judith. We appreciate you. We have Tiwa, also Mrs. Odulami, how are you? He says, you are very right, Reverend Poole. We thank God. We bless God for your life. Mrs. Odulami, please share, share, share. We have Angela has made this, he say, on point, sir. And then we also have Mary Adote, say, so true. I had so much of that. I had learned to heal myself. I am more careful. I am more careful. Thank you so much that you have learned in that. And then I also am learning. We all fall to that, but we pick up ourselves up and then learn and learn again and learn the right things. There are people that are learning, but they are learning the wrong things. But we have a legend here who is pointing us to the right direction. And so somebody please open your ears and hear more. Now, so how do you pull through your worst moment? Your worst moment, how do you pull through?
You know, there's a word there's a word that I've learned.
Mhm.
'Cause I didn't know the word many years ago, but I saw the word. I like that. You can ask Jenny what the word will be, but it's the word fortitude.
Fortitude.
Fortitude,
Mm.
fortitude and resilience. So how do you pull yourself through? You know,
Mm.
you keep going. You make a decision that you're going to pick yourself up
Mm.
and you're going to keep going. You know, again, you'll know that it's not how many times you fall or how many times you get knocked down. It's whether you get up again. That's important.
Mm.
You know, you can get knocked down 1,000 times, and if you get up, you'll keep going. If you get knocked down once and stay down,
Mm.
you're out. You're out the
Mm.
game.
Mm.
So for me, what do I do? You know, one has to keep going.
Keep
You know,
going.
one has to. There's a song. There's an old worship song that was from the early '80s,
Mhm.
um, which was, I don't know if you know the song, but it was "Abba Father, let me be yours and yours alone." It's a very old song, but the
Mm.
sentence in there says, "Never let my heart grow cold,
Mm.
never let me go."
Well,
And
Reverend, I
that's,
would have loved you to sing that for us.
oh no, you don't want that. You don't want that.
Okay.
You don't want that. You said
Go ahead.
this was going so well until
Mhm.
you said that. But you know, never let my heart grow cold, never let me go. And that was a song that was played when I was baptized in water
Mm.
in 13th of March 1987. I
Wow.
remember the date.
Mm.
And for me, that's always been my prayer, that God would never let me go, you
Mm.
know, that my heart would never grow cold towards him.
Mm.
And
Yes.
that's been stuck with me for years. So, you know, one, with the power of the Holy Spirit, you
Mhm.
pick yourself up, you know, you pull up your trousers, tuck in your shirt,
Mhm.
and you keep going.
Keep going.
You keep going.
Mm.
Even when it hurts, you keep going.
Even when it hurts, keep going. Mm. My God. See, we all comes, we will all go through certain things, but I said fortitude and resilience. Please keep going. Don't stop. Don't be out of the game. It doesn't matter. Make up your mind. And with Christ with you, you will definitely make it. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate that. We appreciate that. What has been one of the hardest decision you had to make? The hardest decision you had to make?
Um, you
Probably
know,
deciding to sing that song was the hardest.
like I said, the interview was going so well. Um, you know, I'm a very decisive person.
Mm.
Um, so you know, I can, out of the two, you know, Jenny, out of the two of us, she's not as decisive as me.
Mm.
But for me, I can make a decision, you know, within a split second.
Oh,
So,
wow.
so in terms of making, has any decision been made that's difficult? Really, no, because I will weigh up the situation very quickly and make
Mm.
the call what I'm going to do.
Mm.
Um, and sometimes I know that the decision one has to make what you've got to do is a little bit harder.
Mm.
But in terms of making a decision, just make a decision and get on with it.
Just make it.
So just so that's part of my personality. You
Mm.
know, that's why I'm a leader in that sense. That's
Yes,
why I
sir.
can look at the situation and make
Mm.
the call of what we're going to do. Whereas other people would struggle with that.
Oh,
But
yeah.
for me, you know, I make decisions in my sleep. That's that's it's that type of thing. You can ask Jenny that. You know, it's just not a difficult thing for me to make
Mm.
a decision.
Amazing, amazing. I think it's one of your inborn gifts as well, because making decisions, some people it take them a whole of the years and then
Oh, yeah,
still arrive at the wrong point.
yeah.
So if you have somebody who can do spontaneous and it's also accurate, I believe that you're a gem, and that is why you are a legend. And we appreciate God for your life. Thank you so much. And to those of you that is there, please, I hope you are learning, you are picking up something. Please do. Don't just listen, pick some things. So, sir, what are some of the challenges you face in the area of your job? What are some of the challenges?
Okay, if I focus on the leadership training, some of the challenges that I face is that a lot of leaders
Mm,
um, think they know everything.
yeah, Steve. Ne-
So you find a church leader, a pastor who leads a church of 10 people,
mhm,
or you talk to him and you about personal growth, growing him as a leader, and they look at you as though you're an alien,
mm,
because they think they know everything. And it's like, and I stand there and think, you have 10 people in your church, and yet you know everything.
my
You know,
God.
no, I'm not. I'm not judging them by saying because they've got 10 people they are bad. I'm
Mhm,
not saying that,
mhm,
but I'm looking at that thinking, well, I think you could probably learn some things and
mm,
grow, which
yeah.
will have an impact on your church.
Mhm,
So for me, that's what I find quite a shame with people, that that leaders don't always want to learn.
mm,
Um, and again, some people think that this leadership thing is when they have a title or a position, they've made it, so
mm,
they know everything,
mm,
which again, I'm sure is not the case at all.
not at all.
It means nothing. Whatever title you have, no position, it means nothing to me anyway. Um, you're still doing a role. You still, in functioning in a particular capacity that everybody has to
Mm,
learn, no matter who we are and what we do.
mm,
So that's the biggest shame I think sometimes when leaders have closed ears to wanting to learn.
mm, it's challenging. I believe it's a difficult one, not the easy one, a very difficult one, because some the leaders can be extremely stubborn, even when they are failing, but they are still hold their wrong beliefs and
Yeah.
think that what they have is true. So thank you for letting us know that. So in that, who is a leader? Who is a leader? Does a title make you a leader? So who is a leader?
There's the two sides of the coin there, because
Mm.
who is a leader? Some say they're born leaders, and some people say you can learn to be a leader.
Oh,
I think both are true.
mm.
Um, my question, and I would answer the question with the question is,
Mhm.
who is the most difficult person to lead?
Mhm.
And the answer will be yourself. So on that basis, who is a leader? We all are,
Mm.
because we all have to lead ourselves. I
Mm.
was I was with a young man. He was 21, and he was convinced he would be a millionaire by the age of 22.
Oh, wow.
Convinced he was. And I had a meeting with him at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Mhm.
He didn't turn up. He's still in bed.
Oh my
And I said to him, oh yeah, very nicely. I said to him, "You won't be a millionaire by the time you're 22. You can't even get out of bed for an appointment." And he was really offended.
Mm.
He was seriously offended with me. How dare you say that to me? I will be a millionaire. God had spoken to me. And I said, I'm not being rude to you, but I don't really care what you say God has said. If you cannot get out of bed for an appointment, how are you going to become a millionaire?
Mm. Exactly.
So,
Exactly. It's easier said than done, the things that we say. We think that because most of, as you said earlier, you say when God says something about us, the mistake we make is we wait on God for God to do something whilst we are supposed to make a step or work towards that. We don't. And this are things that I believe that when people come to leadership training, they learn all these things. So I believe that will come to a point that you lead people to where they can get a proper leadership mentoring and then all that. So we go to the now. What are the pitfalls of leadership? What are the pitfalls of leadership? Some of them.
well, we mentioned the one where a pitfall of a leader is they are unteachable. But I think in this day and age that when you look at leaders, not just in England but across the world, some people, some leaders fall into the trap of having a very big ego, um, and wanting fame, wanting to be famous.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you get with that, and I focus on the church world. You see that within churches, certain leaders seem to be, wanting to be famous more so than being a good, credible leader. Um, but some of the, they say the seven deadly sins. One of them, is fame.
Wow.
The three things, money, sex, and fame, isn't it? Are the three areas where people say people fall.
Mm.
So people are hungry for money. You know, people have affairs, and then people want to be famous.
Mm.
And you see that. I have a friend of mine. Again, he pastored the church.
Mm-hmm.
He took the church when it was very small, 20 or so people. It's now about 600-700 people, and he's been invited on TV numerous times. He's been invited to big conferences to be one of the main speakers, and he's always turned them all down. He's always said no.
Wow.
He
Wow.
won't go on TV, and he says that's not what God's called me to do.
Mm. Amazing.
So that type of person, to me, that speaks volumes,
Mm.
because he's not interested about making himself look good,
Look good.
and sort of becoming famous around the world or anything like that. He's just sticking to what God has told him to do.
Mm. Mm.
And I think so that becomes important. Again, he goes back to the character issue, I think, of
Mm.
leaders.
Mm.
So I think we've all got to be careful, because we can fall into especially with social media, and
True.
some of those things. We are more concerned with how many people follow us and like us, and all that type of thing.
Mm.
Which on one hand, there's nothing wrong with that, but on the other hand, it depends. It depends what your motive is.
Mm-hmm.
You
Very
know,
much so.
so there's nothing wrong with being on TV at all, but it depends your motive in getting there.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with writing books, but what's your motive behind it?
Behind
So
it.
it's that. So leaders have got to be careful.
Wow. Thank you so much for bringing highlighting some of the pitfalls of leadership. There are more to even it. There are more to that. And somebody, I believe that when you connect, you will get to know. If you want to become a proper leader, you need to be taught. You need to be trained. It is not just about the title. I am a bishop, pope, whatever, but it is the work you put in to get to where you are supposed to get to. And so it starts by being teachable as we've been taught. So thank you very much, Reverend Keith. We appreciate that. So what's one change that one can make in their life to become successful? What is that one change that one can make in their life to become successful?
Um, I would say be nice, but that I don't want to say that one. No. I think I think you know we're, as people in church, as a leader, we're in
Mm,
the people business, aren't we?
mm,
We're in the people business, so we're working with people all the time. And yes, we have a relationship with God, but
mm,
that is outworked by our relationship with people. So I say, if you want to know what a person's relationship with God is like, look how they treat people.
mm.
And and I think one of the ways to help us is to be a bigger or better reader,
Bigger or
to
better?
read. You know, um, I've worked with that many leaders, and when you say to them about reading the Bible, for example, they hardly ever spend time in the Word,
Mm,
which baffles me, because I think, how can you lead a church or lead people if you never spend time in the Word themselves? Um, but even more than that, be well read. Read books of varying opinions, various thoughts,
mhm,
to grow and to develop as a person. And I think that is very, very important, if you want to be a successful leader. I think that becomes one of the most important things. So if you don't read, I think it's important for you to start to read.
mm. Reading. Thank you so much. So somebody out there, you want to be successful, start learning how to read and love to read as well. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate that. So how can one become a effective leader? How can one become effective leader?
Yeah, I'm going to say the same again. Be teachable.
Be teachable.
Be teachable. There's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of competition to be the number one,
Mm,
be the senior leader or the bishop. You
mm,
know, it's funny. If you've been around a while, you see there's certain fads in the Christian world. Everybody wanted to be an evangelist when Reinhard Bonnke was alive. Then everybody wanted to be a prophet. And now everybody wants to be an apostle. But now that's not good enough. Everybody now has to be doctor, or everybody else has to be a bishop. You know, um, and you look at all those things and you think, yeah, guys, are those things important? And I,
mm,
you know, and I don't really think they are. Those titles that come, nothing wrong with the title again. And sometimes, those things, um, those things are important at times, but they're not the major things in life.
mm, 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 mm. Thank you so much. I'm really learning. I believe that you are. We have Mr. Godwin Odara. I say glory be to God. We have Millicent Atta also on board. We appreciate Mary Adotese being focused. And so we bless God. And then we have Minister Lauren says, never let my heart go cold. Never let me go. Thank you so much. And we also have Mary say, I am with you. Okay, thank you for being with us, Mary. And Millicent Atta, we appreciate you. Please, whilst you're on, we still have a few more to go. Please do share, invite a brother, a sister, a friend, get somebody on board. And I believe that we are doing well. Please continue sharing. God bless you. God bless you. So as we have come to the point of if you could start all over again, this is to you. If you could start all over again, what would you do differently?
I thought long and hard about that one, and I wouldn't do anything different.
You would, wow, amazing.
Why?
Amazing.
Because when God created all of us and we were fashioned in our mother's womb,
Mhm,
and He knew, yeah, God purposed our future and our destiny and what we were born to do,
mhm,
and he knew that the things that we went through and have to go through, he knows what we need to go through to get to that place.
to the, get to that
So
place.
again, I'll go back to Joseph. He was sold. He had that the dream
Mhm,
about that includes his brothers and his father. He was sold. Well, he was going to be killed, and he was sold as a slave. Then he went to the house. He ended up being accused by Potiphar's wife. Then he was in prison. All those things. You could say, well, that's a shame that Joseph went through all those things. But in Psalms it says that until the word of the Lord came to pass,
mhm.
the word of the Lord tested him.
Wow.
So, in other words, until what God says about you comes to pass, that future, your calling, your destiny, whatever you want to call it, your purpose, is
Mm,
a test to you and to your life every day.
mm,
Because no matter what you go through, are you going to keep going to allow God to do in you what He needs to do to enable you to get there? So,
mm,
what would I do differently? You know, I can't do anything differently because for every situation that I've gone through,
mhm,
I've dealt with it the best way I knew at the time.
mhm,
You know, and we all say, it'd be great if we knew 15 years ago what we know today, but we didn't, and
mm,
that's just the way it is. We didn't know, because we would have made different choices and different decisions. But
mm,
part of my growth is that I had to make those decisions, some of them good, probably some of them bad, to enable me to get to where I am today, to enable me to be here with you, to
mm.
enable me to grow to be where I need to be next year and
Yeah.
5 years from now. So I wouldn't do anything differently. It's a very long-winded answer, but I wouldn't do anything differently because I'm just walking the path that God's given me
Mhm,
to become the man that He's intended me to be.
mm. Glory. Thank you so much. This is a life well lived in according to the will of God and the directions of God. Amen. Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you. Thank you for being on board. And the countries that are tuning, we appreciate every country. We appreciate every country. Now, to go further, any books or achievement that you want to talk about? Any books or any achievements that you want to talk about?
No, well, no, I've never written a book. Actually, again, it's a fashionable thing with a lot of people. They write books. It's quite funny. A friend of mine said there's some great books out there that no one knows about because they've not been marketed very well, and then there's some books out there that are complete load of rubbish, but they've been marketed well, so we know about them. But I've never really thought about writing a book. It's a fashion to do that. Everybody seems to want to write a book
Right.
and get it out there, and then photograph or take a screenshot that they sell on Amazon, and then put it on Facebook, to tell the world. But I've never written one. I don't know whether I ever will, personally. Like I said, my mouth is my strength, not my hand. So
I like that.
so writing a book is probably not greatest achievements. I would say giving birth to 3 daughters, but I didn't really do that, did I? I mean, to say when Jenny gave birth, I nearly fainted. So I was not particularly helpful at all in that situation. So, it's probably her achievement more so than mine. But, no, I'm quite. I just consider myself just a normal person, to be honest. You just endeavors to do what God allows him to do.
Amazing. Thank you so much. At this point, is there any advice you want to give to leaders in ministry? Leaders in ministry, any advice from leaders who are in ministry?
Yeah, there's a few
Oh,
things I'd
yes.
say. Because in America, if you look at pastors, there's a lot of leaders who are leaving the ministry. There's just a lot of pastors who are leaving the ministry and walking away from leading churches. And then, on the other hand, there are a lot of leaders who are lonely and they don't have many friends and they're struggling mentally even to do what they do. Now, what would be my advice to these people? I look at that and think, guys, you need to get friends. You need to find people who are like-minded. Not every pastor is going to be your friend, because, we all shop in different shops. We all go to different places shop, and different people will appeal to you, and you'll become friends with different types of people. But it's important as a leader to find like-minded individuals, because you've got to find your tribe, as we say. You've got to find that group of people who can inspire you, encourage you, motivate you, be there for you and support you. Otherwise, you'll end up walking away and quitting. And I think some people who do quit, that God never wanted them to, but they have. And I think relationships, as I get older, relationships become more important. Very, very much so. And leaders, pastors, anybody who's involved in any form of ministry, try not to do anything on your own. Try and collaborate with people, work with people, become friends with people. Don't isolate yourself on your little island. Reach out to people, because the Bible talks about 2 are better than 1. 10,000 can put to flight. If the 2 or 3 the threefold cord cannot be broken. I know where it speaks of that's a type of marriage and Christ, but being in relationship with people will always help you and give you the support and strength to carry on. So try not to keep in isolation and be on your own.
Thank you so much for the advice. I believe that somebody you are writing them down. If not, you are recording them in your brain, which you may easily forget. So please write it down. And we appreciate every one of you there. Thank you so much. And we appreciate God and for joining Global Word Network and the Legend Interactive Movement. Every platform that you are on, we do really appreciate you. We have the great legend, Reverend Kit Poole, with us, and somebody I have been blessed and I'm still being blessed. And I thank God for his life and his family and everything that God has called him to do. Now, servant of the living God, how can, if somebody wants to be trained, if somebody wants to, where can they come to? Because we've talked about leadership, and I know you have some leadership trainings and other things. So please, if you can talk about it, how they can find it, where they can be, and also the new ministry that God has laid upon your heart to also establish. If you can also talk about that, and then if people around that vicinity listening to us, then they can also join. So please, if there is any way to talk about the leadership trainings and sessions that you go through. We appreciate that. God bless every one of you there. Please do share, and listen carefully to this one because the time has come for you to be blessed. The time has come for you to be blessed. Thank you, sir.
So in terms of leadership, I do a lot of leadership, one-on-one coaching with people ranging from business owners, nurses, doctors, PhD students, um, church leaders. You know, so I do a lot of that. I do a lot of training with business owners again, nurses, churches, pastors, personality profiling, helping people to communicate better, helping people to understand people types, how to improve, different types of workshops. So, some of the denominations, the New Testament Church of God, the Redeemed Church, RCCG. I do a lot of work with those guys in the UK and abroad. What I'm tending to do now, my wife and I, we started a new church about a month ago. This will be our 5th week, so it's pretty new. It's growing quicker than we anticipated, actually, far quicker than what we anticipated, which is great, which is a good thing. We're looking next year to start a discipleship training center. That will be in 2022. But if my email is on the screen, if anybody wanted to email me, I do a lot of in-person training now. Well, I do a lot of Zoom based or Microsoft Team, virtual training. In fact, I'm with a church and an organization in Qatar next week on Zoom. I got some, to do some work in India. There on Zoom with groups of church leaders. So in terms of I do a lot of work with leadership to grow them as leaders, to develop their leadership ability so that they can lead their churches better. I do a lot of work with senior leaders in terms of their vision and how they can communicate that to their church, and how to even get a vision, because a lot of people have no clue how to get a vision, how to communicate that to their churches, conflict resolution, also all different facets of leadership, whether it be, like I said, one-on-one, small group, to the church. I do a lot of Bible college training. I teach in a few Bible colleges in the UK in person now, since the restrictions have been lifted. So again, the format is open to the person. I generally would come in if I had an invite somewhere, and I would do whatever the church leaders asked me to do. I wouldn't dictate to them, because every church has a different need and every church is different. So I tend to have those conversations with the leader, the senior leader, or the team, to find out where they're at and what would be beneficial to them. And then I put something together for them. So, I did, I do a Friday, Saturday, all their Saturday evenings during the day. It just depends, what's required. I do what we call the DISC training. So the disc is a personality profile. It looks at a person's strengths and weaknesses and how they behave under stress and how they, in terms of a team building, how they would relate to other people in their team so that they can reduce the conflict there, because quite often conflict comes because we don't understand the person that we're trying to communicate with. So if we understand people, then that can reduce the potential conflict. So so again, in terms of what I do, there's just the list is endless, really, of what I can do. But if there are any people watching who wants to email me, I'm more than welcome to. You're more than welcome to email me, and I'd love to work with anyone, any people, any groups of individuals, churches, in terms of developing them as people, personal growth. I've got in November, I have a communication workshop, speakers, a club, what I use where we go along and look at how people could present better and speak better, public speaking. So I've quite a few signed up to that already, where these people will have to present week on week, and then I work with them to improve what they do. One of those guys I know is a PhD student, where he has to do a lot of work at his university to the professors. So I've got guys on that course from Uganda, from the UK, from Jamaica, from England, so far. So it's multinational or multicultural. So yeah, just email me and we can take it from there.
Thank you so much. And then also, I know that we noticed that you have some programs with John Maxwell. And so, if somebody wants to get advanced, knowledge of that and all that, they email you, they can get that as well.
Yes.
Okay, so please, the email is on the screen right now. You put Poole@sky.com. So somebody please put it down, copy it, screenshot it, and then keep it. You will need it, and you need it. If you know any leader, church leaders, please let them know, because it is a fantastic place that you would love to be trained and to be equipped to become who you have to be. So please do not hesitate to screenshot. I have it also here. So if there is, in case you make a mistake, you can contact me and it will be given to you. I have it. So I appreciate it. Yeah, so if there is, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you so well. Now we come to the point that, man of God, time for you to give a shout out to your beautiful family and anybody out there that you want to appreciate. This is the time. This is the moment. The floor is yours.
So yeah, my wife Jenny, we've been married, like I said, for 28 years. We've stood together in a lot of difficult times. We're chalk and cheese in terms of our characters. We're very different types of people, but God put us together for a reason. I say tongue in cheek, God gave me 3 daughters, a wife, and a female dog to teach me patience. Even my dog is female.
You are surrounded by them.
I'm surrounded by females. So so they, for me, it's been a, like a learning curve and a growth of learning how to interact better, to improve better. And Jenny's an incredibly faithful, loyal person. Excellent communicator. She's a softly spoken person, but you can't get away from the fact that she says some good stuff and she lives everything she says. Everything she says, she's not just saying it because it sounds good. I'll 100% guarantee whatever she says, she does and she is, which stands her apart from a lot of ladies. That's not being rude to any ladies. My 3 girls are stunning daughters. 2 of them, one's training to be a nurse, one's a school teacher, and Zoe, my youngest, who knows, I don't think she quite knows what she wants to do yet, but she's a very good artist and designer and all that type of thing. So, I really do appreciate them. Like I said, 28 years being married, and by God's grace, there'll be at least another 28 more.
Amen. And even more and more, if Christ tarries to come, we appreciate that and we celebrate those years, and it is something for people to learn from. So we appreciate that and we celebrate that with you and your wife and family. And thank you so much for coming on the Legend Interactive Moment. I have enjoyed myself. I have learned in addition, and somebody, it does not end there, because there is the emailed right there for you to further it, for you to go for a training, become the best of you. We all have abilities, but to become the best of what we have been called to do, you need direction. You need to be taught. You need to be directed. And that is why we have this great legend of God here, so that it will be a help to you and I, every one of us. I say everyone is a leader, but not everyone is an effective leader. So for you to be an effective leader, you must come to the place of being a teachable person, sitting down for you to be taught. And somebody, I believe that this hour has come, the moment is now. Now make the right decision by picking that email, and then right away email, and then let direction be given to you. I appreciate every one of you for joining us. The countries that have also joined us, for you, you are listening, so you cannot see the email, but we will mention them. If you have a pen, you can write them, and then also, or you can write to a Global Word Network, www.globalwordnetwork.org.uk, and then I want you to .org, and I want you to know that when you send it there, we will reply and then send you the email address, and you can reach out to the agent. God bless you. God bless you. If there are the church leaders out there also, please pick it up, consult him, and let your church leaders be trained as well. Amen and amen. So the email is Poole at sky.com. So KEITHPOOLE at sky is SKY dot com is COM. Thank you so much. And then somebody, we expect to hear from you. We expect to hear from you. So, Reverend Kitwood, we thank you. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. I've really enjoyed myself, to be honest, and then I've learned in addition. So thank you for coming. Now, I believe we'll have more of you. We'll do some event, and I believe that will connect people also to you by the special grace of God. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for making us enjoy the gift of God in you as well. We appreciate that so well. Thank you for coming on board.
My pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you for the invitation. And I agree. I've enjoyed myself.
Bless God. We have Minister Lauren say, God bless you both. We have Mrs. Odulami says, God bless you both. We have Mama Mercy say, thank you, Rev, for the insight. Thank you. So we thank every one of you. Keep your comments coming, and then we will still appreciate that. You can still share this program to a friend. Somebody needs it, please do so. And we appreciate that. We'll come your way again next week with another edition of the Legend Interactive Moment, a moment you don't want to miss, a moment for you to be inspired. God bless you. Love you all. Stay blessed, stay connected. Until we come your way again, please be teachable and be nice. Today, I've learned that we have to be nice. So please learn how to talk nicely. And then you can reach out to the servant of the living God. God bless you. It is bye-bye for now. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
God bless you. Bye-bye.